Well, this weather's finally decent. Some of the snow melted. Got a nice day today, Saturday. Got a fresh track in the snow here. I feel alive. Stay with me. So I follow these tracks up to a point. And you can see right there's a good rub. And over here, there's another good rub right there. This is a good bedding point. You would expect the buck to be on a spot like this. And you look out here, you can see pretty far down there. But so typical Pennsylvania Gamelands. I don't know if you can see it out there. Get a close up. I'll walk down there. A ladder stand about 40 yards from where this bedding point is. So I don't know how anybody would ever get to that tree stand without this deer knowing that they're here. It's the kind of place I'll keep in my pocket, and I'll monitor it, see if anybody's hunting out of that stand, see if any deer are bedding on this point. If anything, I think my best shot is probably to hit this real early in archery season before that guy comes back to his tree stand. That's that tree stand. You can see weeds are growing all the way up to the top of it. There's a vine on there. This has probably been abandoned. Anyway, this is your tree stand. This is supposed to be out of here a long time ago. I kept following these deer tracks, and this kind of illustrates something I talked about in an earlier video. This is a buck bed right here, and he's underneath an oak tree, red oak. You can see he's been digging and eating these red oak acorns here in the wintertime. They don't prefer the red oak, but if that's what they got to eat now, that's what they'll feed on. So, like I said in the previous video, you find these red oaks dropping acorns in the early part of the fall when you're bow hunting. It's a dynamite place to come back to later in the gun season, because this buck didn't move very far. He was feeding right here, and he was bedding right there. So, if you're hunting anywhere around here, you'd swear there was no deer. He's not moving very far. You gotta know where the red oak acorns are, and be able to come straight to them, and then maybe you'll get your deer. Not much else going on around here. I'm gonna check something else out, and then I'm gonna move on to another spot, see if we can find something better. This is crazy. Look at how they've torn up the snow and the leaves here, feeding on this red oak. There's a great spot. Not far from the road either. I'm going to have to put this in my waypoints. And I'll come back here, check it next fall, see if it's dropping oak acorns again. That's what you got to look for in this time of year. I made the second spot. Found a great spot for red oak acorns. Small game lands. I'm just going to cut across and go to the next game lands real quick and try to cover some ground real fast. Follow these tracks. These deer came right to this white oak here. There's still some white oak acorns here underneath this tree. You can see they're digging all the way down to the ground right there underneath the snow to get that last white oak acorn. I'm following these tracks from that last white oak acorn tree. This deer's headed east. Two of them together, looks like. We're heading into a bedding point. Maybe we'll find some beds. Let's see what this leads us to. So those tracks kept going until they left the game lands. They were real fresh, so they were probably right in front of me. I couldn't see them. Anyway, I'm circling back in an area right now that I hunted in early fall. There was sporadic white oak acorns. There was a buck rubbing antlers in here. I never got to see him. I never got him on trail camera. So I don't know if I spooked him out of the area last year, or if there just wasn't enough white oak acorns to hold him in the area. But I'm going to keep snooping around and see what I find. If nothing new, that'll probably be it for today. I do have one more patch to walk through real quick. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so what did I find out? I found a spot where somebody else was hunting. That's not a total disaster. It's good to know somebody else is out there. I don't want to mess them up. I don't want them to mess up my hunt. I'm basically a weekend hunter. I don't get out during the week that much. I'm a working guy like a lot of you guys are. So it's good to know he could be there. Like I said, when we saw the tree stand there, that's a spot that I would, before the season, I'll scout it out and see if there's a lot of sign there. If there's a lot of acorns falling or whatever, I'll hunt the general area. If he's in the area, I wouldn't expect a buck to be on that point there. I think he would pretty well move that deer someplace else. That deer might come in there to feed, but won't be bedding up on that point. So we'll have to just adjust. It's good to know he's there. Good to know it. We found a lot of areas where the deer were feeding on red oak acorns. Red oak, they're generally good every 2 to 4 years. And we found some white oak acorns, which is fantastic because they're usually good. They can be good every year, every 3 years, somewhere around there. All that depends on late frosts, if we have a drought, bug infestations. That all drives what happens with the acorns. But it's good to know where those trees are, the ones that the deer prefer. I stored those on my Onyx map, so that next year I can come back and check to see if those acorns are falling. I can come back in 2 years and 3 years. I have that all stored. That's why you really should have some type of mapping app on your telephone, on your cell phone. It doesn't matter which one you use, they're all pretty good. I like Onyx. But I've wore out three or four spots today. And now I got other spots I have to check. And it's very important to find as many spots as possible. I probably found 2 decent ground blind or tree stand locations today. I'll just add that to my catalog of hunting spots. Like I talked about before, the law of diminishing returns. If the deer get some pressure in those areas, those stands will dry up pretty quick. I can always come back to them later in the season or whatever, and see if they're active at that point. But always so important this time of year to get out and find more spots. And I want to get it done before fishing season. I got a lot of fishing to do this year. Not a lot of wild turkeys in the area. I'll probably get out and embarrass myself on YouTube for at least one turkey hunt this year. I'll take you guys along so you can have a laugh. But anyway, that'll be enough for today. Like I always say, shoot straight guys and we're all on the same team. Have a great day.